My mom assigned me the ugly sister role at birth. Seriously? At birth? What kind of mom does that? That's messed up. When I got accepted to modeling school at 16, she broke my nose while I slept. Wait, she broke your nose? That is not just messed up, that's criminal. You gotta be kidding me. That's insane. I was born 3 minutes after my twin sister Sophia, which, according to my mother, meant I was destined to live in her shadow forever. Mom declared within hours of our birth that Sophia was the beautiful one, with her perfectly symmetrical features and bright blue eyes, while I was the plain one, with slightly uneven features and darker coloring. She wrote these assignments on index cards and taped them to our cribs in the hospital nursery, telling every nurse and visitor about her observations. I can just picture that scene. I'd be side-eyeing the heck out of that mom. Who does a beauty ranking on newborns? Dad left when we were 18 months old, unable to watch mom systematically treat us so differently based on her arbitrary beauty rankings. She took his departure as validation that her system was necessary to prepare us for a cruel world where appearance determined everything. Oh, she twisted that one. Classic manipulator move. Good on the dad for leaving that craziness, though. Mom doubled down on the role assignments, creating elaborate rules about how we should dress, behave, and present ourselves to maintain what she called the natural family hierarchy. Sophia got the princess bedroom with pink walls, a canopy bed, and a walk-in closet full of designer clothes that Mom spent hours coordinating each morning. She attended dance classes, piano lessons, and etiquette training to enhance her natural gifts. Mom would spend 45 minutes doing Sophia's hair before school, creating elaborate braids and curls while explaining how important it was to maximize her advantages in life through careful presentation. My bedroom was painted beige, with basic furniture from discount stores and clothes from thrift shops that Mom deliberately chose to be unflattering. She cut my hair herself using kitchen scissors, creating uneven lengths that made my face look wider. Kitchen scissors, ouch! That's just actively trying to make you look bad. Not just neglecting, but actively trying to undermine you. When teachers or relatives commented on the different treatment, Mom would explain matter-of-factly that she was being realistic about our different potentials and preparing us accordingly for our futures. The psychological manipulation started early and was relentless in its consistency. Mom would make Sophia practice walking and posing in front of mirrors, while I had to watch and take notes on proper posture and movement that I was told I could never truly master. She enrolled Sophia in children's beauty pageants, where she won ribbons and tiaras, while I was relegated to carrying her supplies and helping with costume changes and bathroom stalls. The support staff, the forgotten one. That is so awful, putting a twin in that spot. When we started elementary school, Mom volunteered as the class photographer for every event, specifically so she could control which pictures got taken and distributed. Photo albums from our childhood show hundreds of images of Sophia smiling and posing, while I appear in maybe 20 pictures total, usually partially hidden behind other people or caught in unflattering angles that emphasized my supposed flaws. Mom created detailed beauty routines for Sophia, involving expensive skincare products, professional manicures, and regular salon visits for highlights and conditioning treatments. Meanwhile, she told me that trying to improve my appearance was wasteful and delusional, that I should focus on developing useful skills like cleaning and organizing, since I'd never attract attention through looks alone. You know, this is less about you and more about your mom's total need for control. She's living some fantasy through Sophia. The rules extended to every aspect of our daily lives, with suffocating attention to detail. Sophia was allowed to eat whatever she wanted because her naturally high metabolism kept her thin, while I was put on strict portion control and forbidden from eating in front of company because my normal childhood weight was deemed unacceptable for the ugly sister. Mom would make elaborate meals for Sophia while giving me plain salads and telling me that overeating would make my face even rounder. By middle school, the psychological damage was becoming apparent in both of us, though in different ways. Sophia developed anxiety about maintaining her appearance and would spend hours examining her face in mirrors, looking for any sign of imperfection that might threaten her status as the beautiful one. I became withdrawn and started believing that my worth as a person was fundamentally limited by my appearance, avoiding social situations and refusing to participate in activities where I might be photographed. It's heartbreaking that it messed up both of you, just in different ways. Sophia was basically a prisoner of her beauty. The modeling industry connection came through Mom's coworker, whose daughter had been signed by a local agency. Mom immediately enrolled Sophia in weekend modeling workshops and started driving her to casting calls throughout the region, spending thousands of dollars on professional headshots, portfolio development, and wardrobe for auditions. Sophia landed several small jobs modeling for department store catalogs and local advertising campaigns, which Mom used as validation of her beauty assessment system. During high school, Mom's control became even more intense and micromanaging. She monitored Sophia's diet obsessively, weighing her every morning and adjusting meal plans based on upcoming modeling assignments. She scheduled professional makeup sessions before important social events and hired a personal trainer to maintain Sophia's figure according to industry standards that seemed to change weekly based on whatever casting director feedback Mom had received. Meanwhile, I was essentially invisible in my own family, existing only to support Sophia's modeling career by handling scheduling, driving her to appointments when Mom couldn't, and managing the growing collection of portfolios and promotional materials. Mom made it clear that my role was supportive rather than competitive, that trying to pursue similar opportunities would be delusional and potentially harmful to Sophia's chances in a cutthroat industry. The breaking point came during my junior year, when a talent scout attended our school's drama production where I'd been cast in a small supporting role. After the show, she approached me directly and said I had interesting features and a compelling presence that could work well in alternative modeling markets focused on authenticity rather than conventional beauty. She handed me her business card and suggested I consider auditioning for her agency. Yes! Payback time! This is the universe giving your mom a massive middle finger. This is great. I kept the card hidden for weeks, afraid to tell anyone about the encounter because it challenged everything Mom had taught me about my limitations and place in the family hierarchy. But something about the scout's words kept echoing in my mind. The suggestion that beauty could be defined differently than Mom's rigid standards, and that I might have value beyond supporting Sophia's career from the shadows. When I finally worked up the courage to research the agency online, I discovered they specialized in representing models with unconventional looks for editorial fashion, artistic photography, and campaigns celebrating diversity and beauty standards. Their portfolio featured people with asymmetrical features, unique coloring, and distinctive characteristics that traditional agencies might reject, but that created powerful and memorable images. The application process required submitting unretouched photos showing natural features and authentic expressions, rather than the heavily styled and edited images typical of mainstream modeling portfolios. I took pictures using my phone's timer function in natural lighting, feeling both terrified and exhilarated by the possibility that someone might see potential in the face Mom had taught me to hide and minimize. 3 weeks later, I received a call asking me to attend an in-person audition at their downtown office. The woman on the phone explained that they were impressed by my natural look and wanted to explore whether my features would translate well to their client's aesthetic vision for upcoming campaigns focused on redefining beauty standards in commercial advertising. I knew I couldn't tell Mom about the audition directly because she would either forbid me from going or find ways to sabotage the opportunity to protect Sophia's position as the family's only model. Instead, I told her I was staying after school for a study group and took public transportation downtown to an office building where I'd never imagined myself belonging. Smart move, keeping it secret. You know what she'd do. The audition was unlike anything I'd expected based on Mom's descriptions of Sophia's casting experiences. Instead of asking me to pose or perform specific movements, the photographers simply talked with me about my interests, experiences, and perspectives while taking candid shots of my natural expressions and reactions. They seemed genuinely interested in my personality rather than just my physical appearance. 2 days later, I received another call informing me that I'd been selected for a paid modeling assignment with a skincare company launching a campaign about embracing natural beauty and self-acceptance. The shoot was scheduled for the following Saturday, and they would provide all styling, makeup, and wardrobe while paying me more money than I'd ever had in my life for 6 hours of work. A paid gig in 6 hours. That is the best revenge, a huge check. The morning of the shoot, I told Mom I was going to the library to work on a research project and would be gone most of the day. She barely looked up from styling Sophia's hair for a catalog shoot, reminding me to stay out of trouble and not embarrass the family with any attention-seeking behavior that might reflect poorly on Sophia's professional reputation. Ugh, still all about Sophia, even when you're literally about to go make more money than her, probably. The modeling shoot was a revelation that challenged every assumption I'd internalized about my appearance and value. The photographer and stylist treated me with respect and professionalism, focusing on capturing authentic moments rather than forcing me to conform to predetermined beauty standards. They enhanced my natural features with subtle makeup and chose clothing that complemented rather than concealed my body type. Looking at the preliminary shots on the photographer's camera screen, I saw myself as beautiful for the first time in my 17 years of life. Not beautiful like Sophia with her conventional features and polished presentation, but beautiful in my own distinctive way, with character and depth that traditional beauty standards had trained me to see as flaws rather than assets. Tearing up a little, wiping a tear. That feeling must have been incredible, to finally see what everyone else was missing. The campaign launched 3 weeks later across social media platforms and in print advertisements throughout the city. My face appeared on billboards, bus stops, and magazine spreads with messaging about celebrating individual beauty and rejecting narrow definitions of attractiveness. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with thousands of comments from people saying the campaign helped them feel more confident about their own appearance. Word spread quickly through our high school community as classmates recognized me in the advertisements and started treating me differently than they had when I was just Sophia's plain sister. Teachers congratulated me on the success. Friends asked about my modeling experience, and boys who'd never noticed me began paying attention in ways that felt both exciting and overwhelming. After years of invisibility, I managed to keep the modeling work secret from Mom for almost 2 months by scheduling shoots during school hours or weekends when she was focused on Sophia's activities. The agency booked me for additional campaigns with other brands interested in authentic representation, and my portfolio grew to include magazine editorials and online content that challenged traditional beauty standards through diverse representation. The discovery happened on a Saturday morning when Mom was driving Sophia to a casting call and saw my face on a billboard advertising the skincare campaign. Oh no, the billboard reveal! She pulled over immediately and called me, her voice shaking with rage as she demanded to know how my image had appeared in professional advertising without her knowledge or permission. I tried explaining about the talent scout, the audition process, and the modeling opportunities that had developed, but Mom's fury only intensified as she realized I'd been secretly pursuing the career she'd reserved for Sophia alone. She accused me of sabotaging Sophia's chances by confusing the market with inferior representation from our family, of being selfish and delusional about my appearance, of destroying the careful system she'd created to protect both of us from disappointment. That night, Mom sat both of us down for what she called a family meeting about respect, roles, and consequences for violating the natural order that kept our household functioning. She explained that my modeling work was undermining Sophia's opportunities by creating confusion among casting directors about which sister was the legitimate representation of our family's beauty potential. Mom announced new rules designed to prevent further disruption of the family hierarchy. I was forbidden from accepting any additional modeling work, required to decline existing bookings, and expected to focus on supporting Sophia's career rather than competing with her in an industry where she had natural advantages. Any violation of these rules would result in serious consequences designed to restore proper order to our relationship dynamic. I refused to abandon the modeling opportunities that had given me confidence and financial independence for the first time in my life. The work had shown me that Mom's beauty assessments were arbitrary and limiting, that there was space in the industry for different types of attractiveness, and that I deserved to pursue opportunities based on my own merit, rather than her role assignments. Mom's retaliation was swift and calculated to cause maximum damage to my emerging career and self-confidence. She contacted the modeling agency, pretending to be concerned about my mental health, claiming I had body dysmorphia and delusions about my appearance that made me unsuitable for professional representation. She provided fabricated medical records suggesting I was undergoing psychiatric treatment for issues related to appearance and reality perception. She faked medical records? That's a whole new level of psycho. Seriously, your mom needs help. When the agency called to discuss Mom's concerns, I was horrified to learn about her interference and immediately tried to explain the truth about our family situation. But the damage was already done, because modeling agencies are extremely cautious about liability issues and cannot risk representing models with alleged mental health problems that might affect their professional performance or reliability. 3 of my booked campaigns were canceled, while the agency conducted background checks and tried to verify the conflicting information they'd received about my psychological state and family situation. The process took weeks, during which I couldn't work or book new assignments, watching my emerging career stall because of Mom's deliberate sabotage. I realized I needed help from outside the family system to protect my opportunities and expose Mom's manipulative behavior to authorities who could intervene. I made an appointment with the school counselor, Mrs. Davidson, who had always been supportive and might understand the seriousness of what was happening at home. Mrs. Davidson listened carefully as I explained the role assignments Mom had created, the different treatment Sophia and I received, the psychological manipulation we'd both endured, and the recent modeling career sabotage that had cost me thousands of dollars in lost income and professional credibility. She took detailed notes and said the pattern I described constituted psychological abuse that warranted intervention from protective services. Thank goodness for Mrs. Davidson, finally a grown-up doing the right thing. That afternoon, Mrs. Davidson called Child Protective Services to report suspected emotional abuse and filed a formal complaint with the school district about the impact of family dysfunction on my educational and social development. She also connected me with a lawyer who specialized in teenage rights and could help me navigate the legal system to protect my modeling opportunities from further parental interference. The lawyer, Jennifer Walsh, reviewed the documentation I'd collected about Mom's sabotage and explained that parents couldn't legally interfere with their minor children's legitimate employment opportunities, especially when the interference involved providing false information to employers about mental health issues. She filed for an emergency protective order, preventing Mom from contacting my agency or potential employers with fabricated claims. Mom's response to the legal intervention was to escalate her efforts to regain control over my appearance and career opportunities through more direct and physical methods. She scheduled an appointment with a plastic surgeon, claiming she wanted to discuss corrective procedures for facial asymmetries that were affecting my self-esteem and social development. Hold up, she's trying to surgically alter you now? She is obsessed with controlling your appearance. This is terrifying. Dr. Martinez, the plastic surgeon, was immediately concerned about Mom's presentation and the fact that she was seeking procedures for a teenage patient who showed no obvious deformities or medical issues requiring surgical intervention. He refused to schedule any procedures without extensive psychological evaluations and multiple consultations to ensure medical necessity rather than cosmetic preferences driven by family dynamics. Mom found another doctor, Dr. Richards, who was less scrupulous about patient screening and more willing to perform cosmetic procedures on teenagers if parents provided consent and payment. She scheduled a consultation for the following week and told me it was a routine medical appointment for a skin condition check that required professional evaluation. The consultation revealed Mom's true intentions when Dr. Richards began discussing rhinoplasty options for correcting what Mom described as nasal asymmetry that was preventing me from succeeding in competitive industries. Mom had researched specific surgical modifications designed to make my features more conventional and similar to Sophia's appearance, rather than embracing the distinctive characteristics that had attracted modeling opportunities. I refused to consent to any surgical procedures and walked out of the appointment, but Mom scheduled the surgery anyway using forged signatures on consent forms and falsified medical records claiming I had breathing problems requiring corrective intervention. This is wild. Forgery is a felony. She is not messing around. She is full-on criminal. Dr. Richards accepted the documentation without proper verification because the payment was guaranteed and the procedures would generate significant revenue for his practice. 2 days before the scheduled surgery, I discovered the appointment while checking Mom's calendar for Sophia's modeling schedule. The reality of what Mom was planning hit me like a physical blow to the chest. The realization that she would rather surgically alter my face than allow me to succeed using my natural features that challenged her beauty hierarchy. I immediately called Jennifer Welsh, who filed an emergency injunction preventing the surgery and demanding an investigation into the forged consent forms and falsified medical records Mom had provided. Dr. Richards' office was contacted by the court and warned that performing procedures on a minor without proper consent would result in criminal charges and medical license suspension. Whew, close call. Thank goodness for your lawyer. Mom was furious about the legal intervention and the exposure of her surgical plan to authorities, who were now documenting her behavior as part of the Protective Services investigation. She accused me of betraying the family, of being ungrateful for her efforts to help me improve my prospects, of destroying Sophia's opportunities through selfish, attention-seeking behavior that was damaging our reputation. The night after the surgery was canceled, I went to bed exhausted from the stress and legal battles, double-checking that my bedroom door was locked because Mom had been acting increasingly erratic and threatening throughout the day. I fell asleep around midnight after texting Jennifer Walsh about additional safety concerns based on Mom's escalating behavior and verbal threats. I woke up around 3 in the morning to excruciating pain radiating. Oh my God, is this where the broken nose comes in? After the lawyer intervention? This is pure terror.